Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Andrea Solorzano, and then I have Eva. We are here talking again about manifestation, empowerment, embodiment, all that good stuff. And we're just going to be talking about right now about high value women in dating relationships and how to manifest and embody yourself as a high value woman if you are dating or if you are looking to date. Or if you're not looking to date, that's totally okay too.
Yes.
Into manifesting a high value conscious man or not. So, Eva, can you tell me about what do you believe, what do you think are some qualities and characteristics that women can embody when they are looking for a high value conscious man, or when they're not, if they're just looking to just be a high value woman? What are those qualities and characteristics that they should embody?
Self-respect.
Love that.
Self-respect from the start. Self-respect, knowing how you want to be treated, but you have to know how to treat yourself first. Because sometimes we are expecting other people to treat us well, to treat us with a beautiful white glove, but we're not treating ourselves well. So the self-respect is number one for me. And then once you know what that feels like, what that looks like, how to embody it, then anyone that comes into your energetic field will know how you wish to be treated just by how you show up. If you're showing up in a way that is, um, centered around, let's just say you were speaking earlier about luxury. You like to eat a certain place, you like to eat healthy, you go to certain places, you're not into eating at McDonald's, and you really take the time to respect your body, respect what you put into it, then anybody that comes into your field is going to pick up on that already and say, oh, she respects herself. So I have to come with a different energy around her. So for me, self-respect.
I love that. Yes, I think it definitely starts off with how you feel about yourself. And because, like we were
Yeah.
talking about earlier, like attracts like, and that is the law, that is like the basis of the law of attraction. And so if you don't treat yourself right, then you are naturally going to find people who don't treat you with the same respect. They're going to cross your boundaries without even knowing that you have boundaries, right? So
Yes.
yeah, I think that's one of the main things is that when you are respecting yourself, you naturally have these non-negotiables, you naturally have these boundaries that you don't even have to tell people. You just are no other way, right? Like that is
Yes.
you. That is who you
Yeah.
are. That is your minimum level of standard, right? So
Yes.
whether if it's, eating at McDonald's and up or not, and there's nothing wrong with eating at McDonald's. Like I'm not here to bash like McDonald's or anything like that. But I think it definitely comes from a place of like knowing how you like to be treated and how you like to treat yourself. So
Yeah.
absolutely, I love that you said that.
Well, for me, I mean, I've had McDonald's many times in my life, but I know that a quality of food now for my body is important to me. So I want to make sure that when I am with someone or I'm dating, that they know that food is important to me. Food is important for me to um, be healthy. Food is important for me to have the energy that I need in order to be successful in whatever I'm doing. It gives me that extra energy, and I don't want anything that's going to make me feel, tired or exhausted. So I do take, I have a lot of respect around food for me, and I want to do what I need to do. So when I am dating that they understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what really is like a huge takeaway is that like, everybody has their own like capacity of like what they can stand, right? So what
Yeah,
works for you might not work exactly for me. Maybe these ideas
totally.
and these like all the advice that we're taught, like all the things that we're talking about, maybe this might not work for you. Maybe these manifestation techniques might not work for you. Maybe these embodiment techniques might not work for you, and that is okay. I think the main driving point that we're trying to talk about is that you are in charge of yourself and you have the autonomy to learn more about yourself and to figure out those things. And like at the end of the day, we're all we want to do, and I tell me if I'm wrong, but we just really want to empower other women to just be
Yes.
right, like to just be themselves and feel their own personal power, and men or women, right? Like it is where a healed person helps helps other people heal, right? Like a hurt
Yes.
person hurts
Yes.
other people. So we're looking
Yes.
to empower our community and all of those things, and figuring out for yourself what works for you. And sometimes along the way, you may need an embodiment coach. Sometimes you may need a manifestor coach to be able to take you to that next level. But at the end of the day, we know that deep down that within ourselves, we have the answers within us to be
We
able to move
do.
that forward. Yeah.
We do, we do, we do. But sometimes we don't know that though. We're looking on the outside of us to get validation that it's okay or that we're moving in the right direction. But you're so right. It's all within us. It's all within us. And we just have to sometimes just be quiet to listen to our thoughts, listen to, what we're really engaged in conversation, the things that we're reading, how we are moving through life. And I think as a value, well, not I think, I know as a high value woman, for me, is that when I am, engaging in situations and experiences that are opening me up and that are in line to who I am as a person, then, and it doesn't feel harmful to me, then I feel like I'm on the right track. When it feels harmful, it feels weird in my body. I can get this feeling inside of me that says, oh, you're not really on the right track right now. So that feeling is so important for me to understand, okay, if I'm not feeling right, the person who I'm attracting towards me is going to be confused about who I am. So I want to make sure that I'm very clear so that I don't attract I don't attract the wrong person. Everybody's a teacher for us for sure, but this day and time, I want to be so clear that anybody that comes towards me, they'll be like, "Oh yes, oh no, yes," and then they can move in whatever direction that they're going, and that no could be a positive no. And what that means is, one of my friend girls, we love to say, sometimes rejection is your protection. So even if it's a no, because either I'm too much or I'm too whatever, to me that's saving me. I'm like, thank you. Instead of being like, feeling like, oh, was I rejected? No, I was probably protected. So
Right.
yes.
I love that. And I heard you say the word validation, and that just like brought up. So I think when I was dating for a little while, like before, I know when I was dating before, I was always looking for validation within other people. I was always looking for validation when I was dating men. And so can you just like talk a little bit about like what you've learned about validation and how to I don't want to say overcome that, but like how do you grow from that like stage where you're constantly having to feel validated by people?
Well, it's insecurity, right? It's insecurity. You're not sure that you're good enough, and you're needing that stamp of approval that you're worthy of the situation. To me, that's not being a high value woman when you're needing validation from someone else. When you're in that pocket of energy of, will he like me? Will she like me? I'm going to do everything that I can to keep them in my energy field, and they're there because you're trying to hold them there, not there because they should be there. You're really like, to me, it's self abandonment. It's self abandonment because you have not, meaning the individual, has not taken the time to find out, okay, who am I as a person? What do I represent? What do I like? How do I like to feel? What do I like to do? What are my core values that I have in myself that I also want to have mirrored back from the person that I'm with? And when you are not sure on that, then you're open to anything. You're
Mm,
open to anybody. And
yeah.
then that puts you in a real vulnerable stage and a pocket of energy that's vulnerable. And then, we love to say, oh my gosh, this person was so negative. This person was, they weren't a great person. Well, if you had cleaned up your vibration, person, Eva, Andrea, if you clean up your vibration and you clean up that vibration in you, you won't have those people coming into your vibration. They
Right,
just can't, because you put yourself in a whole different pocket of energy. And that
right.
energy, now my energy is really, it's protected, it's sacred, and I don't have that problem anymore. This beautiful man that I'm dating, he's mirroring back everything that I believe about myself. And I'm so happy that now in this beautiful relationship that I have, that it is embodied in a way that is perfect for me.
Oh, I love that. I'm so happy for you guys. Like, honestly, that
Thank
is,
you, thank you,
I mean,
thank
we
you.
need people that are in love, right? More people that are in
Yes,
love are happy
yes,
people and make the world better. Like, honestly,
yes.
that's a wonderful thing, and I'm so happy to hear that. And I agree with you. I think that when you are in that high vibrational state, and I just want to talk a little bit about like how you even get there and what we even mean by that, because I think sometimes that can like sound a little bit woo woo and like no people like don't really know like, okay, what does that mean, high vibration? So basically there is like an emotional scale, and the lowest vibrations are shame, guilt, anger, all of those things. Then you kind of go up to like hope and courage, and then you find your way up to joy, peace, and enlightenment. Those sorts of things. And not
I love.
exactly in that order, but it starts off with those low vibrations, and then when you're feeling up to like joy and all those things, those are the highest vibrational things. And so what I think is like so important to be able to put yourself in that high vibration. Something that's worked for me. Again, this may not work for you or anybody else, but this is something that for sure fired worked for me, and was I was able to manifest and attract the things that I wanted in my life, including the man, the beautiful place, and then the car and all the other things. Was to meditate, and then also think high vibrational thoughts, because I think meditating allowed me to like take out the thoughts that weren't serving me, and then I would affirm to myself those things that I desired. And one of those things was like being able to attract a man. So what sorts of things were able to what sorts of things would a man of high value be attracted to? So, trust, loyalty, what's it called? I don't know, what some other things, like someone who's joyful, right? Somebody who has purpose. Like, okay, then I look into myself and say, okay, I am somebody who is joyful. I am somebody who is at peace with myself. I am somebody who is accepting, right? And so just like affirming to yourself, like that is just your new identity. That is who you are. And I think being like being able to use those types of techniques to be able to move forward, whatever works for you will allow those things that you desire, like a man or not, to come into your life. So I'm so happy that you were able to get to that point where you found a man. Because I think at the time when you're not, I think at the time when you're not in this like high vibrational state, it feels so hard to find good men, right? Or it feels so hard to just even find good people to be around you. It feels hard. But I feel like now that I'm like continuously practicing these techniques that I'm learning for myself to be able to put me in that high vibrational state, it's easy for me. It like I naturally attract it. Like I just find myself in these places and I'm like, okay, sweet. Like this at the time, at the time before, like it never felt like I was in the right place, and rightfully so, right? Like I was,
Yeah,
right? Which was a
yeah,
great confirmation that served me at the time, because it helped me realize, okay, this is not where I'm supposed to be. Like I deserve more. I deserve better than this, right? Like,
yes,
but it
yes,
still served me. But I'm moving forward now. I'm ready for something new.
yes. And what I dealt with whenever I was moving up that scale, so I certainly can appreciate what you're saying. And I said, can I receive love? Can I give love? Am I in a position where I can speak to a guy and have a conversation that is not, that isn't negative, that I'm not finding, or I'm not trying to nitpick him, or when I'm having these conversations. Because sometimes um, when you are low vibrating, you can't really hold the right kind of conversation that is based on joy, acceptance, love, you know, all the beautiful things that will put us in this high vibrating energy. We find ourselves because we become a little bit insecure, and then we fall back into these patterns. So a high value woman, for me, understands that you got to ward off when your mind wants to go to those places. You got to like almost inoculate yourself with this loving energy that you can hold the vibration of, and that when someone does come in your energy field, they can feel. You don't even have to say much. They can feel that you're on, that you're healed. And I don't want to make it look like there's, everybody's, a mess in the world, but that you've done the work to even feel worthy of a person, and to feel worthy of being taken care of in a way because you take care of yourself, to feel worthy of going to a beautiful place because you already go to beautiful places, to feel worthy of being in a conversation where it's respectful conversation, to feel worthy that your body is a sacred temple and that you will have it respected and treated in a certain way. A high value woman is just going to see it totally different. A man who's in a high value energy is going to recognize that. And those who can't really deal with that, they just can't deal with that. But I think when you are, holding the energy of a high value woman, to me, it's a win for humanity. It's a win for humanity over and over and over again.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. And I just want to touch on like those things that you said about being a high value woman. Those are things that, taking yourself to beautiful places, taking care of like your sacred temple. Those are things that you don't even have to buy. Like you can go to a beautiful park and say
Yes.
that you affirm that you allow beauty in your life, right? Like
Yes.
what you deserve, right? And nature is honestly like the highest vibrational thing on our planet, right? So, and
Yes.
it provides, it is,
I'm closing this.
no
I'm
worries.
getting a lot of sun.
It is the perfect balance of masculine and feminine energy. So, yeah, being in nature is one of the highest vibrational places that you could be. So I love that you mentioned that. And I wanted to just touch on like, when you are manifesting to become a high value woman, like we were talking about in the other video, was that you do have to do an identity shift, right? So you have to embody that character. You have to think about the things that this high vibrational woman does. And so one of the practices that I did, it's, let me just pull it up really quickly, but this is something I did probably back in, like you can't really see it, but it's basically a triangle, and I'll just redraw it. But what I did when you come into identity shifting is you have to think about the thoughts, actions, and beliefs that you have about yourself in order to manifest. So what I'm writing down now is a triangle, and I'm writing down at each point the thoughts. I have thoughts, actions, beliefs, and then what I would do in the center is I would write down I am. And this is where I would write down all my affirmations. This is where I would write down all the actions that this high value woman would do. Up here, I would write down all of the thoughts that a high vibrational and high value woman would do, and the beliefs that she has. And then what you can do is read that as much as possible. I wouldn't say every day. I don't like putting rules on people, but as much commitment that you want to put into it. But this is like a tangible process that you can do, and you can use this for where you're at right now in order to shift to that new place where you want to become into this high value woman. So, and I don't want to shame anybody for being where they're at, because where you're at is okay and it is providing value for you right now. And if you want to shift that, you can do that, but you have to take action and you have to write these things down. in order to be able to see yourself from a different perspective, right? And sometimes it takes a minute to be able to practice these things, but it's all about repetition. It's about getting those reps in. It's about that momentum. And I feel like those are the things that really pushes you forward. And little by little, you'll just see this like explosion of change.
Yeah. I would love to add and piggyback on that. For me, it's moment by moment at times. Because I could see someone walking by and I'll be like, oh, I like that in that person. I like that that characteristic. So I'm getting a lot of sun from my window. I feel like I have a triangle on me.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yes. I like to consider it as moment by moment because I want to be available for it. I want to be conscious enough that I notice that, oh, that just happened. Oh, I can see that I'm a little shy in this moment, but this person is speaking up. So I might, so what do I need to do to speak up for myself like that person just did? So for me, it's moment by moment at times. And I like to be so keenly aware that I notice when it's happening, and that I can just jump on that bandwagon and kind of like, that person is a portal for me to say, oh, if they're able to do that, I must be able to do that. So they're my portal to use them in that moment and to channel what they've done to help me to move forward to my next stage of embodiment.
Yes, I love that because yeah, it's like everything you can be inspired by. It's that
Yes,
vibration, right? So you can either
yes,
be inspired by that person who is doing that thing, let's just say public speaking, for example, or you can feel insecure about that. That is a different vibration. You're at a different paradigm. And again, bringing back the emotional scale, where do you want to be, right? And then asking yourself those questions like, like if you're in that state where you're feeling jealous or unworthy or fearful and those sorts of things, and it's like, oh, okay, I feel that, I accept that about myself. Right there, just by you accepting, you're already like halfway up the emotional scale, right? So you accept yourself and then you ask yourself, how can I feel more joy in this moment, right? And so being able to just baby step your way up there, and like you said, moment by moment by moment. And that's why I say in my videos, is that your triggers are gifts. Really, they really
they
are.
are. Yes.
Yeah, totally. And it's like you get, because you get to know yourself a little bit better every time you feel triggered by something. And I'm not gonna say like I figured myself out, I have no triggers. Like that's not gonna, like that's just probably not gonna happen. Like I'm always gonna be discovering new things, but about myself and new triggers and all that kind of stuff. But it's like my mindset is different. I have more of like that curiosity sense. I'm not trying to shy away from it. I'm not trying to hide it. I feel strength when it comes to that vulnerability and owning that trigger, that mistake, whatever it is. And that's just like a whole different, I feel like, paradigm shift that you have when you feel like you can own those things.
And to be brave enough to realize that that was a trigger. That
Right,
was a
right,
trigger to make you feel uncomfortable. So when you're, as a high value woman, I think that is a good characteristic to have, to realize that that's a trigger, and that trigger has this beautiful information that if we, are still enough to really hear what's being said, or that, that background noise from the trigger. I remember I was having a conversation with a friend, and I was talking and I felt heat coming up my body. And I said, oh, that's a trigger. That's a trigger about something.
Oh,
And yeah, and I said, oh, pay attention to what's going on. So I think what was happening in that moment when I was feeling the heat was I felt like I needed to defend myself in that moment. And then I said, no, you don't have to defend yourself. Just
yeah.
let it go. Just let it be.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes triggers are wanting you to do something that you don't need to do. Sometimes you just need to let things be and let them go. So in that moment, I was able to be stable enough, have emotional stability, that I could hold the vibration of just listening and not reacting and taking the conversation in a different direction that it really didn't need to go. And I
Yeah.
think, that's a high value woman too, but a high value woman still needs to stand up for herself.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so funny because like I've always thought that people who were just, high, like very successful and, just doing really well for themselves, I would consider them high value. And I would think like, wow, they completely got over their triggers. They have no insecurities. That's how they were able to get to that level where they were able to just perform at a high level. But that is further from the truth.
Right.
They have like an easier like time to just let things go and learn from them or not. Sometimes, there's I feel like there's like a plethora of different people. Like sometimes you're put in a situation where you just are born rich, and people have this like perception of you like, oh, like that person might have it all together and stuff, but it's like, no, that's why it comes down to like what works for you, right? Like what works, like, what works for me might not work the same for you. And just going back to that conversation of like, you know, asking yourself like, what do you feel like you need to get to that level?
Hmm.
What do I have to do for myself? What is the one thing? What is that massive radical action that I can do to be able to get to that level of high value in my career, in my finances, in my whatever it is, whatever's speaking out to you um, the most? Like ask yourself that within, and trust me, you'll have the answer. Like right, you'll find the answer. Like I mean, would you say that that would be helpful?
Yeah, we have 10 minutes, by the way. Just got a notification on my side.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I got a notification on my side. Yeah, there was a time where I was like, I had no idea how to figure things out.
Yeah.
High value was nowhere near my name. I was like confused. I lost a lot of money. I was like broke at one time. There was a lot of things going in the wrong direction. So I certainly had to grow from that place to get to where I am. Um, but it wasn't without taking all of that valuable information of things where I was in the energy of struggle to get to the place now. I think being a high value woman is also looking at where you come from, looking
Yeah.
at where you come from and saying, "Ooh, all right, here's what I can take from this so that I can grow and move forward, so that I can um, either be a teacher for someone about, concerning what you've dealt with in life, to be open to more possibilities for potential because you've come so far in life." High value is to me a lot of times not closing, having a blind eye to your past, but taking that energy and those experiences and turning them into gold so that
Right.
you can move forward in a more beautiful way, because it's all beautiful, right? Even the
Yeah.
struggles,
Right.
it's all beautiful. But just knowing that, oh, I have the ability, because I've come this far. I have the ability, I have this strength, I have this knowledge, I have these techniques to move forward, so I can take this information and I can walk in a way to feel proud because I overcame some things. So to
Yeah.
me, being a high value woman is also overcoming obstacles.
Right. 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 That's so good. That's so good. Oh man. Okay, I could talk for you. I could talk with you for hours on this stuff because this is serious. I think you and I both know that this is our passion, and I just want to thank you for coming on with me and having these conversations, because I feel like the more conversations that people have about these things, the more like it easier it becomes for people to just grasp the information, because video after video, conversation after conversation, people will start to gather new things, and again, healed people help other healed people. So I just want to thank you again, Eva. You are amazing. You're glowing. The sun is shining
Back
on
at you.
it.
Back
And
at you.
yes, thank you. Thank you. I receive.
Yes, 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 back at you. Yes, I'm not sure how many more minutes that we have on my side. I can't see from my side. Can you see on your side?
Yeah, it says about 6 minutes, 6 minutes left. So
Okay. Do you have any offers for your community?
Right now I am just looking to grow my community. So if you guys are on the YouTube space and you guys are looking for more people that are talking about these sorts of topics, manifestation, self-empowerment, personal development, all of those sorts of things, follow me, find my name, Andrea Solorzano, and you guys will see a plethora of videos that I am coming up with, putting together for you guys. And eventually I'll come up with some more offers. I'll put something together for y'all if you guys are looking for that. What about you? Are you offering anything, any intensives, any more trips?
I am on, you can find me at Embodiment is Everything on YouTube. I'll have that also in my description box. I don't have any intensive lined up right now, but the intensive in Dubai was recorded so that you can purchase that. I have two courses. One is Becoming Irresistible, Evolving as a Woman Through Feminine Frequency and Emotional Control. That's available. I have a mini course called the Confidence Mini Course. That's also available. I'll be starting in about another 3 weeks, two courses that I have. The first class attractor, the energetics of money, and the gold digger, permission granted to have it all.
Ooh,
so
I
those
love
are the four
that.
things. Yes, those are the four things that I have. And I also have some coaching packages, not practices. Well, they are practices that you'll also see in the description box. So I have lots of things for you guys. I will be back doing YouTube videos. I've taken off some time with the intensive, but I'll be back making videos and opening up for the community. It's really exciting of what the possibilities are.
Yes, yes, we love these videos. Keep working, girl. You are killing it in the game, and
yes,
inspiration for so many people. So thank you for coming on and speaking to me and speaking to the community about this. Again, this is so important. So I'm so happy, so grateful we've had this conversation today. So
yes, and we should do this again soon, maybe in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sounds great to me. Sounds great. All right, bye everyone.
Okay. Bye guys.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.